Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm currently recording this episode of Hockey Talk TG Podcast on a Sunday night. It is currently 9:45 on Sunday, and I'm currently recording this episode on a Sunday night, but it is a morning for you guys. And we're not really going to have a lot to talk about on this episode of Hockey Talk TG Podcast. So we're just going to recap the games from Saturday between Sweden and Finland, and of course the electrifying game between Canada and USA. And again, I'm recording this on a Sunday night. It is currently 9:45 p.m. and I'm recording this on a Sunday night, 9:45 p.m. So this episode will be published to you guys on Monday morning at the usual start time of the Hockey Talk TG Podcast at 11:30. Before we go ahead and get into the news for today, make sure you guys follow the Hockey Talk TG Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the final few episodes of Cobra Kai. I hate to see the series coming to an end. I've been a fan of the show since it first aired on Netflix, which I believe was in 2018. And then, of course, I like all the Karate Kid movies. The one with Daniel LaRusso in it, the 1980s Karate Kid with Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. I also like the 2010 one with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan in it. But, of course, my favorite one has to be the 1980s Karate Kid with Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. So, I hate to see Cobra Kai come to an end. I really do like the series. Like I said, I first started watching when it first, came on Netflix. So I was a fan right from the start. Of course, I like all the Karate Kid movies. But then, all things, it's just tough to see the show come to an end. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, enough stalling on that. We're going to go ahead and get into the NHL news for today. So, Finland and Sweden. Mikael Granlund, he scored the overtime game-winning goal as Finland wins 4-3 against Sweden. He scored a minute and 49 seconds into overtime on a 3-on-1, and Finland earned 2 points. So they're tied with Canada and Sweden for 2 points. They lost their first game of the Four Nations tournament to USA on Thursday. A 6-1 loss for the Finns, but they rebounded with an overtime win. And it was the first overtime goal in the NHL International Tournament from Team Finland. So, congratulations. And this was a team that was down like 1-0 at the start. Sweden got a goal from Mika Zibanejad, and then they were down 3-2, came back, tied the game, and then won it in overtime. So, congrats to the Finns. They certainly put up, great work right there. And I said that they were going to have the most goals scored in this tournament. If you watched my bold predictions video on the TG Hockey channel, I said they were going to have the most goals scored in this tournament because their defense is weak. Their defense is weak. They don't have the best defense in this tournament, but somehow, some way, they found a way to win this game against the Swedes. And Patrick Laine said after the game that we're kind of the big brother now. Because like USA and Canada, Finland and Sweden also has a rivalry. And so those two countries do not like each other. They hate each other. So they kind of have a rivalry too, like USA and Canada. But Patrick Laine said after the game, we're kind of big brother now after that overtime win because Sweden has been dominant against the Finns. I don't know if I think it's in best on best tournaments or, just in general. But yeah, they have been dominant against the Finns. But Patrick Laine said, nope, not this time. We're the big guys now. We're the big brother now. And I just want to remind you guys about the round robin tournament. So like I said, Finland did earn 2 points because of their overtime win. And I just want to remind you guys how the format is set. So a win in regulation is 3 points. Overtime or shootout win is 2 points. And an overtime and shootout loss is 1 point. And a regulation loss is, of course, worth 0 points. Anton Lundell, Mikko Rantanen, and Alexander Barkov also scored for the Finns, while Kevin Lankinen made 21 saves on 24 shots faced in net. And Finland's special teams really came to play in this one. It was spot on. They were 1 for 2 on the power play, and they went a perfect 2 for 2. They went a perfect 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. And of course, the power play goal came from none other than Mikko Rantanen, which hopefully, like I said, I know this is their first game that the Finns has won this tournament, but hopefully Mikko Rantanen can find some somewhat chemistry with Sebastian Aho. I don't think they're playing on the same line in this tournament, but if they are playing on the same power play unit, I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably go back and look at it later after finish recording the episode. But if they are playing on the same power play unit, I would love to see some chemistry between Sebastian Aho and Mikko Rantanen, since Mikko Rantanen is now on the Carolina Hurricanes. Of course, he came in that three-way blockbuster trade with the Colorado Avalanche, Chicago Blackhawks, Hurricanes. So love to see a little bit more chemistry with him and Sebastian Aho. Now, this game was also physical as well. Finland had 25 hits and Sweden had 20 hits. So it was, a physical game pretty much as we all anticipated from this rivalry game right here. And for the Swedes, Mika Zibanejad, Rasmus Dahlin, and Erik Karlsson scored for Sweden, and Philip Gustafsson made 2 saves on 4 shots faced in net. He did leave the first period with an illness, so he didn't return after the first period. Highly doubt that he's going to play. I guess for you guys, in today's game against Canada, like I said, I am recording this on a Sunday night, so it's kind of hard. So, I'm not going to say that. So, I'm trying not to get myself confused here and get you guys confused, because like I said, I am recording this episode on a Sunday night. This will be out to you guys tomorrow morning at the usual start time, so so I don't know. Philip Gustafsson will be available for today's game against Canada, but we'll just have to see. And Linus Omar, like I said, made 15 saves in relief. Overall thoughts on this game, I really did enjoy it. I didn't really get to see too much of it. I saw a little bit of it when it was live, but I didn't really get to see too much. But I thought afterwards, it was like a great game between two of these rivals right here, and it was a great game all around. Really did somewhat enjoy it, even though I didn't get to see the entire game. I really did enjoy it though. And like I said, both of these teams play Monday. Both games will be on TNT. Well, actually, they'll be on TNT. It will be Canada and Finland going at 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time, and Sweden will play USA at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And remember, this will be in Boston. It is no longer in Montreal. This will be in Boston. So, of course, Montreal had hosted the Four Nations on February 12th, February 13th, and February 15th. Now, Boston is going to host the ones on February 17th. Of course, the championship game will be on the 20th. That will also be in Boston. All right, moving on to my favorite game of Saturday, USA and Canada. So USA holds on for a 3-1 win against Canada, and they clinch a spot in the Four Nations Faceoff championship game that will be in Boston, in Beantown, on Thursday. And so far, they're 2-0-0-0 in the standings. Remember, they won against Finland 6-1 on Thursday. They will face either Canada, Sweden, or Finland in the championship game, which hopefully it is Canada. And as an American, I will be cheering on for Team Canada to win that game against Finland. Because if Finland wins this game, it's going to be somewhat of a joke. And the reason why I said it's going to be a joke if Finland wins this game against Canada is because Finland has no defense. They have a good top six. Their bottom six is somewhat solid. Their top six is probably the best on the team. The bottom six is solid, but they have no defense. And Canada's team, however, does have defense. And overall, the team is very stacked. So that's why I said, those are two reasons why I said if Finland wins this game, Canada is going to be an absolute joke because of the reasons I just said. But let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, I did have a comment box open on Spotify as well. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, drop a comment down below. Let me know you guys' thoughts on that. If Finland wins against Canada, is it going to be a joke? I believe it's going to be a joke. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it, whether you agree or disagree with the stuff I say. I always like to hear from you. And fun fact about this one, this USA and Canada game had 4.4 million viewers on ABC and ESPN. And it's the first, this was most for a non-Stanley Cup final game since 2019, which, I assume is either the NHL Winter Classic between the Blackhawks and the Bruins in 2019, or it probably was the 2019 NHL All-Star Game. I saw this on an Instagram post, and I figured why not just, say it in my podcast, so that's why I, brought it up. And also another fun fact, it was the United States' first win against Canada in a best-on-best international tournament since the preliminary round of the 2010 Vancouver Olympics on February 21st, 2010. And also, this was Sidney Crosby's first loss in an international tournament. Like I said before on the Hockey Talk TG podcast, if you've been listening, Sidney Crosby had went 26-0 after that overtime win against Sweden on Wednesday to kick the Four Nations Faceoff tournament off. He was 26-0 coming into the game against USA. Now USA handed him his first loss in the international tournament for him and Team Canada. But nonetheless, Sidney Crosby is still one of the greatest players to ever play this great sport of hockey. And Jake Guentzel, he scored 2 goals in this win, and Dylan Larkin also had a goal, and Connor Hellebuck made 25 saves in the win. And before we get into Team Canada, I know I should have said this when I first started talking about the USA-Canada game. It was a very physical game. And it started off with 3 fights in 9 seconds. 3 fights in 9 seconds to start off this rivalry game of the Four Nations between USA and Canada. So, of course, Matthew Tkachuk and Brandon Hagel fought first. Why not? Matthew Tkachuk and the Florida Panthers, Brandon Hagel, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Battle of Florida rivalry right there. So why not kick things off between Matthew Tkachuk and Brandon Hagel? And then his brother, Brady Tkachuk, went at it against Sam Bennett. They fought second. And then JT Miller and Colton Parayko fought last. Of course, JT Miller cross-checked Colton Parayko, which made Colton Parayko drop the gloves and fought JT Miller. And overall, what I'm seeing from the Tkachuk brothers, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the Tkachuk brothers in this game. I know some people have been comparing Matthew and Brady Tkachuk to the Bash brothers from Mighty Ducks, of course, comparing Brady and Matthew to Fulton and Dean, the Bash brothers from Mighty Ducks. And I heard other people comparing the Tkachuk brothers to the Hanson brothers. If you guys seen Slapshot, I really do recommend you see it. If you have not already, it is a very good movie. Not a movie for kids. It's not a movie for kids. It's a movie for adults. But it's a good hockey movie, though. It is a good hockey movie. I truly do recommend you watch it. And especially that scene with the Hanson brothers when they were just, going out on the ice and obviously obliterating everybody that they saw and laying big hits on everybody in that game. So some people compare the Tkachuk brothers to them. They also compare them to the Bash brothers of Mighty Ducks, which of course is you're a kid that loves hockey, then you most likely have seen the Mighty Ducks movie. And if not, I truly do recommend you see it because as a hockey fan and player myself, I grew up watching Mighty Ducks, and it is the best kids hockey movie. I do hate that they didn't continue with the TV show that they had, Mighty Ducks Game Changers. That only lasted for year. I think it started in 2021 and ended in 2022. I wish they would have continued on with that, had at least 4 or 5 seasons of that show, Mighty Ducks Game Changers. But yeah, it is what it is. Matthew Tkachuk also left this game with a lower body injury, so he sat out for the final 12 minutes and 36 seconds of the third period, and he will not play in Monday's game against Sweden when USA takes on Sweden. I guess for you guys, it'll be today at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, but for me, of course, it'll be tomorrow because I'm recording this on a Sunday night. And all penalties in this game were in the first period. No penalties in the second, no penalties in the third. And this game, kind of like Sweden and Finland's, was a very physical game. USA had 34 hits, Canada had 29 hits. And of course, for Team Canada, who else than Connor McDavid to score the opening goal for Team Canada to start off this game? Or at least to start off the second period, because I think the first period was scoreless. Correct me if I'm wrong. The first period was scoreless. Nobody scored in the first period, so Connor McDavid scored in the second period. And he had the, long goal for Team Canada. And Johnny Bennington made 20 saves in this game. Cale Makar, he didn't play in this game against USA. Of course, he was a game-time decision. And then eventually it was found out that he wasn't going to be able to play. Shea Theodore is also out for this tournament, so Canada had to go into this game with 4 defensemen. Correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am wrong on that, but Cale Makar didn't play. Shea Theodore is out for the tournament, so they probably had to play in this game with at least 4 or 5 defensemen, because Travis Sanheim, of course, was the extra defenseman for Team Canada. And this is what Connor McDavid had to say on the loss versus USA. So he said it was fast, tight checking, competitive, and emotional. It had everything you would want in a hockey game. This is what Dylan Larkin had to say on the win versus Canada. So he said this was one of the best experiences of my life. Just an unbelievable game. My thoughts on this: I am happy that Team USA won because, as an American, gotta be happy that Team USA won. They played Freebird, loved it. They used Freebird in the World Juniors when Team USA won the gold medal against, was it the Finns? I think it was against the Finns in the World Juniors. In 2025, Teddy Stiga scored the overtime game-winning goal. They used Freebird in the World Juniors. They brought it back for Team USA in the Four Nations for their goal song. But, yeah. Overall thoughts on this, I really did enjoy it. As an American, I had to enjoy it. It was a rivalry between USA and Canada. And like I said, I really do like Canada's team, but as an American, I got to root for Team USA when it comes to playing against Canada. So, but overall, I really did enjoy this game. It was a great physical game. It was a rivalry game. And like Connor McDavid said, it was fast, tight checking, competitive, and, everything that you would want in a hockey game. So just going off of what he said, but I really did enjoy it nonetheless. I wish we could have seen a lot of goals scored in this, a lot of a lot of hits in this. Like we did see a lot of hits, but I was hoping we would see at least actually we already did see 40 hits. Okay, never mind. I'm just going off now. I'm just stuttering. But yeah, I really did enjoy the game. It was a great game to watch. I love every single second of it. And this is why we say hockey is the greatest sport in the world. With games like this, not the NBA, not the MLB, and sure as heck not the NFL could compare to hockey, could compare to the NHL. This is the greatest sport on earth. I don't care what anyone says. This is the greatest sport on earth, and no other sports would even try and match hockey. So, yeah. Anyway, let me know you guys' thoughts on the USA and Canada game. I know I kind of did stutter for a few seconds. I was trying to get my words together. So, sorry for all the stuttering. I was doing that few seconds right there. But now we're going to get into the Four Nations games on the slate for today. So, of course, like I mentioned, Canada will be facing Finland at 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time. This will be on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max, followed by Sweden taking on USA at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for this episode of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's all we're going to be discussing, just the recaps from Sweden and Finland and Canada and USA from Saturday. I gave you guys my thoughts on it. I really did enjoy both games in general, and I'm looking forward to seeing both of these games, I guess for me tomorrow, but for you guys today, between Sweden and USA and Canada and Finland. And as an American, I'm going to be rooting for Team Canada to win that game against Finland, just so we can get a match against them in the championship round. Because I speak for all hockey fans when I say this, that they would want a USA versus Canada matchup in the championship round. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, yeah, I speak for all hockey fans when I say that. Both of you guys have a great rest of your day. God first as always. Be blessed. I'll see you guys Wednesday for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. Take care.